everyone, and welcome to another Heritage Highlight. Today we explore a bit of the history of quilting and learn how quilts function as both fine art and historical record. This quilt is called a strip quilt, and it was made by Annie Cruikshanks in 1920. You've probably seen similar quilts that have pieces of fabric sewn into blocks of patterns. However, this piece marks an interesting transition in the ways women made and used quilts 100 years ago. Patchwork quilts like this became popular after the Industrial Revolution. With the invention of cotton gins and mechanical looms, fabric became very cheap, dropping from $5 to 5 cents a yard. In the 1840s, quilting took off as a popular craft. Women would stitch brightly colored patches and strips into beautiful patterns and often made quilts in celebration of a special event, like weddings or a birth. During the last quarter of the 19th century, quilts were seen more and more as works of art. Rather than being used as bed coverings, quilts now were being put on display in parlors. This quilt by Mrs. Cruikshanks is one example of a display quilt. Quilts also became a way that communities of women recorded history. For example, this is the famous Red River Settlement quilt, currently held in the Manitoba Crafts Museum and Library. Made in the 1940s by a group of 34 women, it shows scenes from Manitoba's history and was meant as a display piece. Down in the lower right corner, a block is dedicated to the St. Andrew's Anglican Church, which this rectory has close ties to. Both the Red River Settlement quilt and this strip quilt show that although we may think of quilting as just a hobby or a craft, they are also important historical records and works of art. Thanks for watching this Heritage Highlight, and we'll see you next week!